Hey guys, we're going to break this into 3 pieces, and I'm going to put right down at the bottom whichever piece you want to see, exactly where you need to go to see that piece. One of these, the first one I'm going to show you, is something that my guess is you've never seen before, and that is how to find elevation on Google Earth. So it's very helpful. For example, if you're looking at a lake, you're going to pre-fish a lake or fish a lake that varies in water level, maybe it's going to be flooded and you want to see if something's flooded. In my case, I'm looking at Bodart, which is the new lake here in Texas. And with Bodart, some of the imagery I'm looking at is historical imagery. So for example, if I see a pond dam and I know that pond dam is flooded, or I'm curious if that pond dam is flooded now, I can look at the elevation on the top of the dam. So I know right now that the lake is at 531. So if I lay out the elevation and I see the top of that dam is at 516, I know the top of that dam is right now 15 feet deep, and that's something I want to mark. So I'm going to show you how to do that. That's part 1. So you can see right there at the bottom of the screen where you need to jump to see part 1. Part 2 is something that I thought would be really simple to find, and I like to never found it online. Actually, I had to get it from the Garmin rep, and that is, I wanted to just move a single waypoint manually to my units here in the boat from Google Earth. But to do that, I had to know which format to download that waypoint in. So that will be part 2, and that will be right there below. You can see where that one is. The third part, most of you have seen, you may just need it as a refresher course, and that is how to download a whole bunch of waypoints from Google Earth to a file, to a SD card, and then upload them on your units. And I'm going to show you that, and that will be right there in the video. So let's jump right in. Let's start out with elevation. Sorry for the handheld shot, guys, but I want to do this holding the camera so you'll be able to see better on the screen what I'm going to do. So this is incredibly handy, again, if you have a place where the water is moving, you know, high to low, or in this case, we got a lake filling up. So this is Google Earth, and by the way, it's important to note here, you've got to use, there's my beautiful boys and beautiful footprints, and yes, my desk is a mess. So to do this, you got to have Google Earth Pro, right, which is something you have to download to your desktop. It's free, no cost, and I'm going to jump to Bodart, so bear with me. I'm going to set the camera down for just a sec. Okay, so we got Google Earth Pro pulled up, and this is a map of Bodart. And what you're going to see right down here, matter of fact, let's do this as ode to Bill Wilcox, my buddy from Honey Hole TV. You see that date right there, October 24 of 21, okay? So that tells you when that image was taken. Now, interestingly, a lot of these images are not satellite images, they're actually taken from airplanes, so that's probably what this is. But let's say, for example, I look back and I can find data from September of 21. The lake started filling in April. In September of 21, the lake was at about 510. So we can assume this was 508 to 512, I think, but I would say probably right at 510 when this image was taken. And so there's the bank line at 510. Well, we're at 531 now. So I want to know, hey, is that pond or tank, according to what part of the country you're in, is that in the water now? Well, there's a really simple way to figure that out. So let's jump up here and let's go add, and we're going to add a path, okay? And then let's just start right there. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to click it again way up there, okay? Now then, so I've created a path, so I'm going to say okay to my path. Then I'm going to jump back up here to edit, and I'm going to say show elevation profile. And I'm going to click it, but I'm going to show you what it looks like when I click it. So click. Now, this is so cool. Now, it backs away, but you can zoom right back in, okay? So there's my path I set. Sorry, camera kicked off. So there's my path I set right through the middle of the tank. And you can see down here, there's the elevation, but here's what's cool. So you put your cursor down there, and I can now start right there at the beginning of it. And you see that's at 525. It's a little bit uphill, 526. Well, let me do that again. So 525, 526, 527. Oops, I lost my cursor. 529. So that tells us almost certainly that at 530, there's about a foot of water over the edge of that pond. And you can go all the way up here and pretty much see that's about where the bank line is right now, right in that area right there. So that way I know, and I can do this all over the lake. I can do it with, so I'm going to delete that one. I'll say delete. Okay, I'm going to delete untitled path. And I can literally, let's just say I wanted for some reason to figure out where the bank line is. I could go back up here again. I could say add. Remember, we're going to add a path. I could start right there, and I could say I want to start right there, and I want to go to there. 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 Okay. Oops, sorry. Edit. Show elevation profile. And you can literally see the ups and downs graphically and on the data of where, and I mean literally you could probably pretty well draw your bank line now, right? So that's 538, that's out of the water. That's 539 out of the water. That's 526 in the water. And you can do that anywhere you want to, that you have a new lake or you have a lake that varies in depth. And again, I had never seen, I've seen it on some other videos, but I've never seen this on a fishing video, and I'm sure it's out there, but I thought you guys might enjoy that. So that's number one on our topics for the evening or the day or whenever you happen to be watching this. Hey guys, I'm going to show you something that I struggled to find on the internet, and that was, I'm going to do two parts to this. So the first part, I'm going to show you how to take a single waypoint from Google Earth and move it to a Garmin unit, because if you now, and behind that I'm going to show you how to move a group of waypoints, but there's a lot of videos that show you how to do the group of waypoints. There's very few that show you how to move a single waypoint, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it. There's probably other ways to do it, easiest in my opinion. So I'm going to go up to Bodark in the next few days, I hope the weather holds out. And so I just went in, and so I fish Richland Chambers in its very, very early years. And I know from Chambers, you really look for a couple things. You look for old tanks, some of which will be brood ponds, some of which just because it's a depression, especially if you look at the map up here, there's kind of two types of tanks. There's pretty tanks with pretty water in them, and then there's really ugly, sort of cow tanks. And actually there's several of them in historical imagery where there's literally cows standing in them. And there's also, if you go back far enough, most of them have been dry up there. So, but I wanted to have some stuff to fish so that I don't just show up and start fishing a tree line or something. So to do that, the first thing you need to do to look at historical imagery anyway is to go to Google Earth and download Google Earth Pro. So that's the only place that I can find that you can look at historical imagery, and I'll show you what that looks like right here. Okay, so there is Google Earth Pro. That's Bodark. You go up here to the top left, and you want to go to that clock. You click on the clock, and you can just back it up to when it wasn't a lake. And I'll show you one of the places I want to look at when I go up there. There's a bunch of them. For some reason my Google Earth Pro is very slow to respond to me today. So there is a beautiful tank right there, right? Sorry for you guys not in Texas, a pond. Okay, now here's the challenge. So when you go to that waypoint, so what I did was I just clicked on that little icon right there to drop a pin. You can drag that pin wherever you want to. Actually, I'll show you how to do that. Man, why is this so slow today to respond? Just add another one. So we click there. You see it added a pin. I can move that pin, and as you'll see as I move the pin, obviously it changes the longitude and latitude. Now, here's the trick. So if you look at that, right, 33, 39, 593, that does not match at all with the formats on which I'll overlay right there. So that's what the formats look like on a Garmin unit. And what you want to do is you're going to be using, set your Garmin, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, to go to that top setting, and you want to do degrees and minutes. Now, the way you do that is you go up here to Tools, you go to Options, you drop right down here, and you shows lat longitude. And there's multiple different setups. You want to use that one, degrees decimal minutes. Degrees decimal minutes will then show you the format I just showed you. So you click on the icon, you click on properties, and there you go right there, 33. Now, you're gonna see it doesn't match up, and I'm gonna show you why in just a second. And by the way, thanks to Zach at Garmin for helping me figure this out. But I'll show you how that works right here in just a second. Let's use the magic of cameras and go to the boat. Okay, so if you don't know how to download maps, you've got to connect your units to Active Captain, and then you can actually draw on your phone where you want to do, which is what I've done. I drew a little square on my phone around Active Captain, around Bodart. You see I've now downloaded it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a waypoint, right? Waypoint. And I'm going to say I want to edit that waypoint. I'm going to go right there. This is just the fastest way I've found to do it over the years. Go to position, enter coordinates, and you see I'm not, well, you don't see, but I'm not far off of it. So I need to be at 33, 39, 582. So I go 33, 39, 582. And you're going to see, by the way, it's going to move that waypoint from the edge of the lake into the lake. And then it needs to west 096. 05. So because there's a 0, it's going to be 00517. So you see I had to translate that. It only shows it as 0517, but it's 2 digits, so it would be 00517. Done. Enter coordinates. Done. Back, back, back. And you're going to see I have now entered it, and by the way, I named it as well. So there it is right there, pond. And since their map, and by the way, I was told, and please don't hold me to this, but I believe Garmin intends to have this lake scanned early next year. I think it's on the schedule, so we'll have a highly detailed map early next year. But for right now, I've now set a waypoint right there, and I know where that pond is because it's not on there. Great. And I want to be able to go right to it. So there you go, guys. Okay, guys, so really quick, all you got to do is you build all your waypoints, dump them in a folder over here. And what I did was I start with a add, so right there, add a folder, okay, and then you make all your waypoints, you drop them in that folder, and then you come over here and you I'm right clicking, by the way, and I've saved place as, and then I saved the place as on my desktop. Bodart 20 October 2024 right there, that file right there. Now you can't open that file with your computer, but what you can do then is you can go to GPS Visualizer right there. Click on GPS Visualizer. You say choose a file, Bodart. Okay, and then you change output form. You want it to come out in a, sorry, camera glitch. You want it to come out in a GPX file right there. That's what your Garmin unit's going to recognize it as. You say convert it, and you see right there download. Boom, I downloaded it. It shows up here in my downloads. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back over to my downloads. So for me, I just say search files, downloads, there it is right there, okay? And you see now it is a GPX file. I'm going to just leave it sitting right there. I'm going to go to my email. Now this is a step I have to take because I have BitLocker, which won't let me it wants to encrypt every friggin' drive you attach to this thing. So I'm going to go over here and use my email. I'm going to email it to myself so that I can download it from my MacBook. So that's just one crazy step I have to take, and I hate BitLocker, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to download it to a SD card. And remember, guys, it's got to be a 32 gig or smaller SD card. The units do not like those big SD cards. So 32 gigs or smaller. Download it, and then I'm going to show you how to load it to your computer. Super simple to do. Load it to your Garmin unit. It's super simple to do. Okay, so now we have all those waypoints on a mini SD card. Now I mentioned it earlier in the video, don't even start this if this is bigger than a 32 gig card. That's as big as you can use. Now I'm going to install it. I have two 8612 XSVs in my boat, and there's a port or a little slot right here where you install them. I'm going to pop one of the ones that's already in there out. So right now there's a map card and there's a memory card just in case I want to save stuff off the unit in there. I want to replace one of those with that card that's got all those waypoints on it. So here's how that works. Okay, so here we go. We're going to push that card in. All right, and we're going to say, so there's my user data, right? So there's all my data I want to add. We're going to say manage card. Now that will probably be set on admin when you flip to this, so make sure and go in there and tell it you got a GPX file. That's what you want it to look for on that SD card. And you're going to say merge from card. Now, so there it is, slot 2. My experience has always been, yeah, we know. My experience has always been that if you have multiple cards, the newest one will be on the bottom, and I want to prove that to you here because that is not a good file. So if I say merge from selected file, it says cannot read. That's because that's no longer a good file. So that's the one I want to do. It's going to do it almost instantaneously because there's only about 70 waypoints on here. Merge from selected files, boom, transfers complete. Now I have a whole bunch of waypoints at Bodark Lake. And as I mentioned to you the other day, the first time I went to Bodark, I had everything deep marked. I've now gone back and I've marked all kinds of shallow stuff I want to look at because I think the fish is going to fish the fish. I think the lake is going to fish shallow for some time. So there you see I've got all kinds of waypoints on creeks, on pond dams, on road beds, on low water crossing. Anything I saw that I thought, hey, there might be a fish right there, I've now got as much stuff as I can look at for the next month or so. So really simple. There's the 3 things we talked about at the onset, and I hope you guys find this helpful. If you liked it, throw me a like, man. The algorithms love a like, and that gets me more viewers, and I appreciate that. If you don't subscribe, please join us, and if you know somebody who might be interested in these videos, please share, and all those things are greatly appreciated. As always, on 6 cents, Ken 10's a discount, and they support the channel, and there is a link in the description below where if you're shopping at Tackle Warehouse, if you'll use that link, that helps them support my channel as well. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon.